Hello everyone. Today from a slightly different perspective. So in the meantime, I've moved on to lesson 14, which I'll be starting just today. So introducing J. And on the way here, there was a dot, right? Dida dida dida, which was so different from all other characters that I've learned so far that it was actually pretty easy. So I've spent only like 1.5 days um, practicing that, and it sort of, I believe, sunk in deep enough and well enough that hopefully, so as you see here, I've been getting pretty much only 100% on these. I mean, or at least close to, right? 99.6, so one off. Here, I believe two off. Yeah, and so on and so forth. On lesson 13. I haven't done really, many reps of this particular lesson, but I did spend quite a lot of time on the previous character, which was, let me just think about it for a sec. It was, I believe, yeah, I, right? Did he? I was confusing I with a lot of characters. So with first off with A, right? Then with um, U, did da, because it's part of you, and so on and so forth. So what I did realize is that starting off the lesson, with this new character and all other characters on top of it is just pointless. It's just too stressful and it's just too demotivating. So what I do right now is try to think of all characters that this new character that is being introduced is similar to, and then just practice that in a custom CW practice session, for a few reps, and then if it's okay, if you feel sort of, more or less comfortable with it, just move on to, your normal lesson 14 practice. And it really works very well, or at least has been up until now. That's what I've done with the I, that's what I've done with dot, right? So dd for I and dida 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 for the dot. And now with dida da da, which is J, I sort of thought initially that, I mean, right now, like this morning actually, because I'm starting really just now, that it does sound a bit like, I mean, M is a part of J, A is part of J, right? Dida. Then P is sort of similar, right? Dida da di. So, with only the last sound being different. And then, W didada is also, a subset of J, and then, J itself, right? So I've, you know, sort of decided that these might be potentially confusing learning J, and so that's what I'll practice. And, after 2 or 3 sessions like this, I'll move on to the normal lesson and keep on practicing with the normal lesson. Every now and then, you know, every now and then, in the course of practice of this new character, I do come back to these custom study sessions. Mm, I try to do it before every practice session initially. So, and then nearing the end, I also do a few custom practice sessions of, like this to sort of cement this new, is it knowledge or is it ability to discern the new sound? Yeah, whatever it is, that's what I do. And then, once I sort of decide on which characters might be confusing initially, the actual practice session of the actual lesson, you know, um, sort of tests it against reality. So sometimes then I also pinpoint another character that I'm confusing this new character with, and then I add those to the custom practice session. So yeah, that being said, let me just open custom practice session, and I'll do one right now. See how it goes. I also decided to type the letters all in how do you call it, in caps lock, right? In big letters, because that's how I'll be writing them, hopefully at some point when I, you know, get around to actually writing them by hand instead of typing them. I also, this also occurred to me that when I hear sounds, it does take me a bit to actually, decide on what letter I'm hearing, right? Much longer than when I'm typing them, which sort of leads to the inevitable realization that conclusion that a big part of me learning the, Morse code letters isn't really learning the letter itself. Like, I won't be seeing the letter in my head based on what I hear. But large part of it is just, small motorics, right? So what my brain is translating the letters that it hears, the sounds that it hears, is movements of my fingers instead of hearing the letter itself, right? So visualizing it in my head. I do believe, though, and I'm pretty sure of it, that, you know, understanding the letter without typing it is at least part of what I'm learning. So after finishing the course here on lcwo.net, I will have a pretty good ability, hopefully, uh, to type the letters from the Morse code from the sounds that I'll hear. And then, you know, I believe, at least that's what I'm planning to do at the moment. We'll see what it turns out to in the end, but, and whether it works at all. But what I'm planning right now is after I finish learning to type it, and I'll, be able to type at, say, 20 words per minute speed, right? Without any Farnsworth spacing in between, just, consistent 20 words per minute. I'll move back to lesson one and just practice writing it by hand. And I believe it'll take much less time to do that. Thinking to myself, we'll see whether it works or not. But I thought that I will try to spend just one day on every letter and see if it works. And right now, the consistency is key here. So I believe that just following this way of learning, right, with lcwo.net till the end is a good way to go. There is no one right method, as some seem to claim. I believe that, there are different ways to learning CW. This is one of them, and yeah, hopefully, and I'm pretty sure. I keep saying hopefully because you can never be 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that once I get to the end of it, and I will prove to myself that I do have the perseverance to even go through 40 lessons of Koch Method CW course. I'll, you know, will have the perseverance as well to, um, push it through with learning to write it by hand as well. Right, that being said, let's give a try to this custom practice session. Let's just take a look again. What are the characters? M, A, right, da da, di da, di da da di, di da da, di da da da. Right, let's go. Okay, one sec, that's way too loud. And here, my work computer is reminding me of being neglected. I have a program there that's reminding, after half an hour goes by, it's sort of closing itself, but before doing that, it's reminding me every 1 second that it should be closed. And it does that for 30 seconds. So if I didn't close that, it would be doing that for 30 seconds straight. Right, that being said, let me turn the volume down here. Let's try the computer to say 28. Will that be okay? Yeah, that's perfect. Wait, was that a dot? Oh, oh, am I making things up? It wasn't a dot, no. Must have been something else. See, yeah, so it does get confusing. Even the sounds that I already know, the letters that I already know, suddenly seem new, right? I don't recognize them because of the interaction of this one new letter. Okay, let's check. Yeah, suspected so. It's the more I practice, the easier it gets. Also, I get less stressed during the practice sessions. I do try to also practice, at at the times of the day where it would be particularly hard for me to perform any sort of thought intensive processes or tasks, right? So, say when I'm very tired in the evening, I try to do it. When, I put both of my kids to sleep and had to sleep with them on two mattresses spread on the floor because how they like it, right? So all together, and my family, my wife sleeps separately in her bedroom, and they both kick me the whole night, and I'm very tired during the day, right? Especially in the morning. So, early in the morning, I get up, and then when I try to do it, like on purpose, to push myself to, you know, the I think the harder the conditions that you actually do your practice sessions in, the easier it gets then to sort of control yourself in any adverse circumstances that might come up in the actual um, when you're doing actual QSOs later, which I haven't done even a single one yet, right? Uh, by the way, I haven't done any QSOs, be it you know say SSB or CW or any, right? So I'm very fresh in this. I've just passed my license, and what I'm doing, I'm practicing, I'm learning CW, right, or Morse code to then use it, as with CW. Also, what I've noticed, so another side note here, um, it's very meditative. I'm not really sure which pronunciation is the correct one. Uh, so it's really meditative in the sense that I did my fair share of meditation in my time, of Zen meditation, and sort of focus on the object of meditation, be it a koan question, a mantra, or I mostly used to do it on your breath. And if you focus on the breath and you keep going back to your breath after being um, sort of you know how you say it, sidetracked? No, um, I don't remember the word. It doesn't come to mind. Either way, so um, your thoughts are grabbing your attention, right, and pulling you away from the object of your meditation. And you're supposed to then leave the thought, don't entertain it, let it sort of dissolve, right, and just go back to the object of meditation. And CW practice is very similar in this regard. And then, usually when thoughts arise in your mind, they do it by themselves. You don't really realize it, in your everyday life. They are just there, and then you're thinking the thought, right? You're entertaining it. You pursuing it and thinking it, right? So and turning this one initial thought into a chain of thought. And with meditation, you're supposed to go back, right? Leave it, let it dissolve. And it's, CW practice is the same. Just leave the thought. That's this. Oh, distraction. That's the word I was looking for. That's distracting. You just come back to the object of your practice, right? In this case, Morse code. And again, with meditation, if you're doing that, in meditating, right, going back to the object of meditation, or subject of meditation, you're realizing what was the initial thought that has distracted you, right? That has pulled your attention from the thing that you should be focusing on. And it's with CW is the same. So, you know, you're trying to get as high percentage of correct answers as possible, and by doing that, you pulling your attention away from the distracting thought and back to the object of your practice, the subject, right? Sorry, the subject of your practice. In this case, CW, right? Because you're practicing CW, you're learning CW, and uh, again with CW, it's very easy to realize this initial thought that has arisen in your mind, right? Or arisen. It has arisen, right? It has arisen in your mind, and uh, and you can see, or you're aware of how you're letting it go and going back, trying to focus your attention at the subject, in this case at CW. So in this case, it's very meditative. I I, uh, I do believe that it will stop being this meditative once you get really good at it, right? Once it's sort of your second nature after you've practiced, 10,000 hours of CW, then it's sort of, with an iambic key or a straight key, right? It'll be just, second nature. You won't really have this meditative effect anymore. Just as with speech, right? You can speak without really being aware of any distracting thoughts. But at the moment, it's very meditative in this regard. Some few other thoughts also came to me, which I didn't comment on because I was focusing on the practice. But and sort of I've lost them now, right? I don't know what I was like thinking for, but at the moment they did seem pretty interesting to share with you guys and gals. Um, and Yeah, I'm sure that they'll come back at some point, and I'll hopefully mention them again in some other video. Right, that being said, the custom practice session done. Right now, I will continue after the video with a few more. So again, M, A, P, W, and J. Right, da da di da di da da di da da di da da da. Please excuse me. Right. Um, I'll continue this vein for some time and then move on to an actual lesson. So it goes. Hopefully, I'll be able to make a video of that as well. If not, then please excuse me. Um, I have to sort of juggle with my time here and there. I have a business call in like quarter of an hour from now. So yeah, pretty cramped for time during the day. That's why these videos aren't really coming as often as I would like them to. But I'm sure that most of you are working as well and will understand how it is. Right. Thank you very much for your attention. Have a lovely day, and until next time, 73.